All right, everybody, welcome back to this brand new year, brand new content coming up. I hope everybody had an awesome New Year's and awesome Christmas, all that good stuff. I know my posting and stuff kind of slowed down a little bit near the that tail end of the year, that last month, December there, just due to the holidays being crazy, all that stuff, But we're picking it right back up here and gonna get back to our kind of regular schedule here with content. So, if you guys saw the Heaven and Hell album review I did, y'all saw who the next band we were going to be covering is, which is going to be a different one. We're kind of stepping away from the hard rock, heavy metal kind of sector of things for a bit, and we're going to be looking at one of my favorite synth pop bands. We're talking about the Fixx, and we're talking about their 1982 debut album, Shuttered Room. Very weird album cover. Not as cool as an album cover as some of their other ones. But, yeah, very kind of deep cut album for them overall. Even though, I mean, it's got its hits off here, as we'll see. But, this wasn't really the one that made them big, at least here in the States. It would be the following album, Reach the Beach. But, like I said, there are some hits off here that are definitely big standouts in their discography, as well as some deep cuts on here that we'll take a look at that are very big standouts for me personally in their discography. So we kick things off with I Found You. Very solid opener, cool way to kind of introduce the band, kind of what their sound's all about. And while it is cool to and a very solid opener and everything, I will say this is all actually one of my least favorites off here, right? But again, not bad. That just shows you that's an awesome way to open things up. But that just shows you there's only greater things to come from here. Very cool one. Of course, you got made two guys up in here. Cy Kernan on the vocals, incredibly unique and distinct voice. Very very awesome singer. And then Jamie West Orm on guitar, who has just one of the cleanest freaking guitar tones I've ever heard. And it sounds like chimes, man, sometimes when he's playing, especially on one song that we'll see here. And just fantastic, and very underrated guitar player. But yeah, I Found You is a very good song off here. Very solid opener. Just, again, there's quite a bit better that we're going to hear off here. The next one here, Some People. Really cool in here. You kind of get to hear a little bit more of that power from Cy Kernan's voice. Again, he doesn't have like the highest range in the world, but he just has a very unique sound and has a very good range and can like pack a punch behind his voice. Like especially with this song off here, which is a really cool one to follow up that opener with. Very solid one. I loved again, this is a synth pop band. You hear a lot of synthesizers and really thick bass sound on this all throughout. So very cool, very solid production. Even though their production will get we'll step it up to another level on some of these later albums that going forward. But yeah, Some People's another really good one off here. Then we go with one of the hits off here and one of the best freaking songs off here and a big standout in discography. All checks all the boxes, right? We're talking about Standard Fall, and you really get to hear Jamie West Orm, that just like chime clean guitar playing during the verses of this thing. Very very standout. It's one of those guitar players, you just know it when it's him, right? Very distinct sound, and same with the vocals from Cy Kernan. And I love the chorus of this one, the melody, but to me it's that just clean, just strumming of these of the chords and power chords and such that Jamie West Orm are playing that really just makes this one a big standout for me. Very very awesome song. And then we go with a deep cut off here that I kind of forgot about how much I liked, which I remember liking in the past just by looking at the title, but I kind of forgot what it went like. But The Strain, very, very solid one, very hooky, kind of more upbeat one, that the chorus is just the main, it really, hooks you in. Very, very good track with this one. And again, I forgot how good this one is. Like I always say, rediscovery on a lot of the stuff when you go back through these discographies. And admittedly, this is one of the albums I've re-listened to the least, at least as far as like these 80s Fixx goes, right? So, I mean, I definitely was kind of rediscover maybe some of these deep cuts that I hadn't heard in quite some time. Then we close out side one with Red Skies, the other hit off here that is really freaking good. Got a cool groove to it. The bass is thick and heavy on this one. And again, you get that standout guitar sound. This is, again, one of the ones that was considered a hit off here. And one of the best tracks off here. I would definitely say that. They really nailed picking their singles with this, with Standard Fall and Red Skies here. That just... they will get stuck in your head like nobody's business. Very, very good ones. Then we go on to side two with Lost Plains, another really solid one. I like the lyrics and the chorus in this one. Very cool one, but not one of my favorites off here. Kind of would throw it in the same boat as I Found You. And, you know, maybe, yeah, I would kind of maybe throw it in that kind of bottom, you know, tier level for this album, but not a bad song by any means. Then we go with another kind of hidden gem here, Cameras in Paris. I really like the bass. Again, is just all up in this one, and the synthesizers too are just really keying it in here with Cameras in Paris. Got a really cool groove to it that I really dig, and is a big deep cut off here that I've always really liked. This one has a really cool kind of, you know, just nighttime kind of cruising down the road feel to it with this track. So Cameras in Paris, really good. This next one is another deep cut off here. One of my favorites off here. Might take the cake for being my favorite. Either this one or Standard Fall. But this one is I Live. This one is so freaking hooky, man. I'm telling you. And it also has that, just that really, really cool and synthy, just clean sound. Yet again, you're going to hear that a lot here, right? That's just what these guys are all about. And I love the keyboard going on in this one, in particular, kind of during the chorus, kind of the melody the keyboards got going and everything. I Live is just a fantastic song and a big standout to me in the Fixx's discography, for sure. You know, again, that's one that maybe a lot of people probably slept on if they've not heard this whole album, or maybe only heard it once or twice. But I Live was one that stood out to me the first time I ever heard this album, and always has throughout, you know, later listens. And even now, still to this day, one of my favorites off here. Then we go with the title track, Shuttered Room. I'd say this one is probably the least favorite of mine. It's kind of a more upbeat, kind of faster paced one. Real quick, to the point. It's 2 minutes, 47 seconds. But it's the shortest song off here. Just kind of does its thing and leaves. Not one of my favorites by these guys at all. Not like a song that I'm going to be like, oh, this is shit, turn it off. But one that I'm just like, kind of a filler track, if you ask me. But, you know, it not a bad one, right? Just kind of a filler. It's there to, seems like to fill time or whatever, right? Then we close it with The Fool, which is a really cool one that I forgot about. Really cool way to close it out. You know, kind of fades, does the whole fade out thing to close the album, right? And it's kind of an atmospheric one, not very you know, just synth heavy on this one, and you know the rings and dings of these guys just doing their thing, and just a really cool one that I forgot that I liked as much as I did. Not one of my favorites off here, but kind of like in that mid-tier kind of range for me. But I thought it was a very solid way to close the album. And again, it was just a really atmospheric one. I think it might be the longest song off here, running in at, 5 minutes, 21 seconds. So, not like a long song or anything, right? But just the longest one off here. And I think it just really kind of wraps up the album really well, and kind of keeps, you know, showing, makes you want more, right? Which is what we'll get when we look at their next album, the massive hit, Reach the Beach. But yeah, guys, the Fixx, very pumped to be digging back through their discography again. Always has been one of my favorite synth pop new wave bands of the 80s, along with, you know, like Duran Duran, I mean Mr. which I've covered on this channel a while ago, and just kind of along with you know, like Tears for Fears, all that stuff. Really, really dig these guys. Kind of group them in with that just 80s classic sound that I really like as far as 80s pop goes. So very underrated album, and you know, like I said, I'll admit this is one that I've kind of spend less than maybe some of these other 80s and early 90s Fixx albums. Um, that then maybe I should have, because I mean, clearly, I mean, each time I come back to this one, I'm always surprised at how much I really like it. So I really just need to suck it up and be like, hey man, this thing's pretty freaking awesome, right? Because which I've always liked it, right? But I definitely need to keep coming back to this one more and more, because I feel like it's only going to grow with me as time goes on, because it really has. Each time I listen to it, I'm like, man, why haven't I been listening to that more? And that's kind of the case here again with this thing. So would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this band, if you ever heard of them. I mean, I'm sure you've heard like some of the big hits, like we'll talk about next time, like Saved by Zero and stuff like that, that is really, really one thing leads to another massive hit, right? That stuff that was really hitting the airwaves at that time. So would love to hear your guys' thoughts on these guys, and I highly suggest too, if you've only maybe heard those hits, maybe jump in, follow along with this discography review and ranking we're going to be doing to these guys, because it's a very, very cool and interesting discography to go through. So anyways, guys, yeah, what are some of your favorites off here, if you've heard this one, or if you haven't? Would love to hear you give it a first listen and maybe talk about your thoughts and stuff down there in the comments. So, but anyways, guys, glad to be back at it. I'm going to be kind of dropping stuff more consistently again. Just the holidays kind of gets chaotic and stuff, and kind of what happened to me as well. So just busy with, all the stuff that surrounds that, family, all this stuff, which it's always fun, but boy, it kind of wears you out. And it definitely did that, but now we're kind of back on the grind of things, right? So stay tuned for some more Fixx album reviews when next time we cover their second album, Reach the Beach. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks a ton, guys.